What made this one?
With the commish, Nate.
And with that, we are off. Welcome to Press Pass Live. Season 104 playoffs are finally here. I think we're still waiting on our guy Maniac. He's probably going to jump in here. Now that we're using Discord, people quietly enter the room, so I never know when people are here. So if you hear this and you're here, you need to say something because I'm not going to know. Our guy Big Hurt is off with a brand new coaching position, so I do not think he's going to be. Did I say do not? I said do not. I meant. I do not think he will be joining us, but I do. I listen. The last 3 days, 72 hours have just been brutal. I'm barely surviving right now, but man, Trey, welcome to the playoffs. We are here, buddy. Both of us made it, as well as Mr. Big Hurt. So we got a lot to break down. I feel like we covered a majority of this. It's going to be hard to remember exactly what we said we would or would not, or what our predictions were. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down each of these matchups, give our predictions. Hopefully it's not a 2-hour show. I don't have 2 hours in me. We'll see how long this takes, but I'm ready to jump into this. Trey, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Mr. Maniac, is he here? I don't think he's here.
Not seem like it.
Well, we'll make sure that we get him in here as soon as he does get here. Let me make sure this is all good. All right, we're good to go. Let's start with the NFC. We talked AFC last time. For most of the show, we would start with the AFC. I want to start with the NFC. We got the number 1 seed, San Francisco 49ers. 2 seed versus 7 seed is your Saints versus Chicago Bears. That'll come to you tonight, 9:30 p.m. Central at the latest. It might come to you a little early as my wife is down sick, which is also why this show doesn't need to go super long. I expect her to be home any minute. 3-6 is Dallas Cowboys and Washington Commanders. Those two flip-flopped as we kind of said they would. And then 4 Detroit Lions against the number 5 New York Giants. That is your NFC matchups. Let's go ahead and break it down.
We're running at 8:30 Eastern tonight.
8:30 Eastern. We got an early game tonight, so we'll see how that one goes. And I haven't heard anything from Dallas or Washington, but knowing both those guys, they'll get it in as soon as they possibly can.
2 games, not both.
Yeah, it'll come though. They're not the greatest at telling us when their games will be played. They're just like they just get them played, and you're like, oh, I guess that game happened there. Let's go ahead and start with my game. Let's start with New Orleans Saints. Ooh, I turned off my lights. I didn't mean to do that. Let's start New Orleans Saints, Chicago Bears. This one's going to be a defensive matchup. What do you see happening in this game?
I see the offensive line collapsing on the Bears, forcing Justin Fields to make some rush passes, and Marshawn Lattimore doing Marshawn Lattimore things. And putting a point on the whole Marcus Lattimore that that Hurt kept calling him, and Marshawn Lattimore being the reason that you prevail and move on.
Yeah, we'll see. What's up, Cincy Berg and Kevin? Good to see you guys. Listen, it's going to be a battle. Big Hurt used to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and so we used to have some battles back in the day. We'll have to see how this one plays up, but I'm not going into the playoffs with a lot of confidence, which feels a little weird to say since I am the number 2 seed. I just feel like, I don't know. My team is not playing up to par. They're not hitting on all cylinders, all the other stupid sports phrases that we use. I just don't have a lot of confidence in my quarterback. Played my guy Kansas City Chiefs just feels like 24 hours ago, whatever it was, during the day on Sunday. No one around him. A pitch perfect pocket. I stepped up, go to make a throw. It is literally 10 yards to the left of where that throw was supposed to go. An easy interception. That's the kind of quarterback play and why I don't have any confidence right now. Let's go 4-5. I want to talk about your game. Maniac, if you pump in here, you just got to say something because we have no clue if you're here unless Trey helps me keep an eye on it because I don't get any kind of notification now that Discord is over here on PlayStation, which I love, by the way. Detroit Lions, number 4. New York Giants, number 5. 2 very powerful offenses. 2 teams, though, that I think don't get nearly enough credit for the defense. You're known for your pass rush. I was very impressed by the pass defense of the New York Giants. He has a cornerback over there that I don't know why we don't talk about this kid. He was all over the field whenever I played him. And don't accidentally call kick coverage and call a timeout because Colin, he's going to come right at you. This is going to be a fun game, number 1. This would be a blast to call. I can see both of these teams like 45-42, like some kind of crazy high-scoring game. I see a lot of sacks in this game, but I like the lefty rookie against the other rookie over in New York. Both of these guys putting up crazy numbers. I just like the Detroit Lions pass rush, especially at home in the playoffs. It's going to really rattle that rookie quarterback, the New York Giants. I like the Detroit Lions to come out of here. I don't expect you to give me any type of prediction, but tell me what you see happening in this one.
Just like how you don't have confidence in your quarterback, I don't have confidence in mine. Because my quarterback's doing the same thing. This game is going to depend on if Snoop James can run the ball. If I can get Snoop James running the ball, I stand a chance. If I can't, I'm screwed.
Yeah. This is going to be a fun one. I really do see this being just a fun back and forth. We'll have to see exactly how this one plays out, but it should be a fun one. Dallas Cowboys come roaring out of nowhere. Everybody early in the season was talking about how he wasn't playing well, what happened to Dwayne, what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys, and talk about turning around all the way to the number 3 seed against the Washington Commanders. Number 6 seed might be one of the, if not I would argue, the strongest number 6 seed or not top 4 seed in this entire playoffs. Washington Commanders on the road to face the Dallas Cowboys. Classic battle between these two guys. I don't think there's any love lost between these two. Should be a defensive battle, with both offenses able to make plenty of plays on the offensive side of the ball. They have great skill playmakers, and I think that the Washington Commanders are going to have a full squad. Should be a fun one. What do you see happening, Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders?
You still got one game left on the Gesicki suspension.
He's got one more. It's okay. It's a tight end. He'll be okay.
Well, after playing him and how that game went, I think like a year, and it showed in their matchup in the first game with the suspension. Yeah, Cowboys absolutely mopped the floor with Commanders, and then I'm thinking it's probably going to be a second round of that.
I think this is going to be a closer one. I see sort of a defensive battle early and then something happening kind of halfway through that third quarter, early fourth quarter that starts to lead to both of these teams scoring a lot. Give me like a 32-28 game, but with 28 of those points scored by both teams in the fourth quarter, like a bunch of points scored in the fourth quarter. I'm going to take Dallas simply because he's hot. He's at home. Washington Commanders, I feel like they've been on kind of a way of putting out a statement now that he's back. I feel like he's knocked some rust off, but I think too much rust being gone too long as we get into the playoffs. I like Dallas to win this one.
And we have Hurt and Maniac in the chat if they like them.
Oh, both of these guys are here. What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
Well, welcome to Discord chat. I did see one of you, I don't know who, pop over in the PlayStation chat. Those are no longer a thing. We're now moving straight to Discord. Anyway, Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders. What do you guys think about this game?
I definitely have D-Wayne winning this one. I felt like Penguins was the team to beat for a while through the first half of the season. But with him taking a vacation, I don't know if he's checked back in yet fully. And I think that gave him a little break and allowed D-Wayne to catch fire. And that fire is burning hot right now. And I just don't think, slip up. I just see him being back in the swing of things, and like I said, got that fire relit, and I have the Cowboys winning this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys as well. I know last show I picked the Commanders to go deep into the playoffs, but that matchup between Dwayne and the Commanders that last game was just Dwayne's on another level right now. I think he's out to prove to the league that his struggles this season was a fluke, and I think he's going to take it out on everybody. So give me the Cowboys and the Commanders I think it's going to be kind of a barn burner. Maybe it gets away from the Commanders early, but then they fight back. But I think it's going to be like a 34-30 type game.
And since the last show, we've also had Mr. Maniac rejoin us. So welcome back, Maniac. I'm going back to you, Big Hurt.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I just have this to kind of cap what Maniac was saying. I definitely have this being just a straight up bar fight. But I just think the Cowboys are kind of the heavyweight right now, and the playoffs. Anytime it comes to the playoffs, it's who's playing hot and who's playing good football at the time. And like I said, Penguins is a Super Bowl contender candidate every year. And so, like I said, I think it's just going to be a straight-up bar fight, but I got Dwayne kind of getting that last haymaker, and his defense is something I would not want to see. I played it a couple weeks ago, and it literally had me frustrated and just left with no answers. So I was, I'm not looking forward to playing him at all. This season, next season, at all. I don't want to see that defense.
All right, so we picked our NFC matchups. Let's move over to the AFC. The number one Jets. They finally earned that number one seed. Our guy Trey has been singing that song for quite some time, ever since our guy Kobe has moved over to the AFC. The number 2 Bengals face the number 7 Miami Dolphins. The number 3 Kansas City Chiefs. Kudos to our guy Shocked against the number 6 seed Buffalo Bills. The number 4 seed Indianapolis Colts and the number 5 seed Cleveland Browns. The Ravens are out of there. We've got our AFC matchups. Let's talk about the Bengals versus the Miami Dolphins. This should be a fun one. Talk about defense versus offense. We've got two great quarterbacks kind of going at it. I'm just going to go with the red-hot Cincinnati Bengals. I'm pulling for him. I pulled him on the last show. I think he's going to get all the way and surprise a lot of people. I like the Cincinnati Bengals in this one. What do we think, guys?
I'm thinking it's definitely going to be the Cincinnati Bengals defense. It's going to be too much. It's going to overwhelm the speed of the Dolphins offense. And when you can't get your players open because you don't have enough time, your speed means nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals here. I think Will Koch is just he's proved that he can run with the big dogs. I think that he's had one of the more top offenses in this league. I know the Dolphins are pretty much red hot coming into the playoffs with the games I've watched and stuff. He's solely relying on that deep ball. He's got a couple plays in his bag of tricks where he's getting some big time plays out of heel and his speedy receivers. So I just look at him relying too much on that. And the Bengals matchup, I think the Bengals pull this one out with a 24-17 victory.
And Hurt has left the chat.
Oh, Hurt has left the chat. Oh, well, he is driving. If he pops back in, just let me know. We got Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. This one's going to be No, he's back. Big Hurt, you're back. Give us this Bengals, Miami's Dolphins.
I have the Bengals winning this one, and as much as Massimo is a potent offensive player, Tyreek Hill has destroyed me on those vertical routes. I just don't see the Bengals with Trey Hendrickson having the season that he's having. He ain't gonna have the time to get the ball deep, and I think the Bengals offense is too much to contain. And so, as much as I hate to say this, I don't even have this being a close game. I think it's gonna be 38-42, somewhere around there to maybe like 14. If Tyreek Hill can't get loose, I think the Dolphins are going to struggle offensively. And I just don't see Little Koch, like I said, not being able to hit home with Trey Hendrickson. And his defense is not going to let Tyreek Hill do what he did against me.
The disrespect all of this show is showing to our guy, the Miami Dolphins and Massimo. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're at number 3. The Buffalo Bills, they're number 6. I did make a bold statement saying that there probably is no stronger bottom 5 seeds, 5, 6, 7, than the Washington Commanders. But I think Bill and his Buffalo Bills would make a statement for there. This is going to be a fun one. Played Kansas City less than 24 hours ago, and he started all backups, and he hung with me. How he did that, I have no freaking clue. He was making money throws. He's feeling super confident. I still I want to go Buffalo, but I'm not. I got to go with my guy. I got to go with my gut. I just played him. I think this is Kansas City Chiefs. They're playing really great defense. They're playing really good offense, though, and I think that pass game is going to be just enough to get him to squeak past in a field goal game against the Buffalo Bills. What do we see in this one?
I want to say one thing, and I think that Bill is a strong 6 seed. But when you're talking 5, 6, 7 seeds, I don't think there's a stronger 5, 6, 7 seed in the playoffs ever than there's been Denver as a 5 seed this season. That dude's made 4 straight OMFL Bowls, and he's a 5 seed.
Yeah.
I understand Little Koch is having a great season, but that's got to be the strongest 5, 6, 7 wild card seed that we've seen in a long time, if not ever, especially how hot Denver's been the last 6, 7 weeks. But for this game, the Chiefs versus the Bills, it's going to be an interesting game. I think if it gets to be a high-scoring game, it's definitely going to be in favor of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But if it stays within like the lowest 20s, then I think it's in favor of Bill. Because Bill's got Chubb and that running game that he can rely on. But I think it's Shocks' year. He's had a few hiccups, but he got his guy back. He should be fully healthy. And I think it's Shocks' year. He's playing good ball. He's confident. And I think he squeaks out I'm going to go 28-24 win.
I like it.
I'm gonna go with the Mr. Bill and the Bills on this one. I think his defense, which I know he struggled a little bit, but in the recent weeks, but his defense has still been stout, and I feel like the Chiefs are going to struggle a little bit against a top flight defense in those Buffalo Bills. So. I'm looking more like this game is going to go in favor of the Bills with a defensive battle. And I see Mr. Bill pulling this one out 17-14. And that's going to be a real tight game for the wild card round.
Nice defensive game there.
Yeah. I'm saying boat and Maniac. I think this is going to be won by the defense. And I just don't see the Kansas City Chiefs defense matching up shot for shot with the Bills defense. And I have the Bills winning this one in a very unique score of 12-9.
Listen, Kansas City's got one of the top passing defenses, and after seeing them in the last 24 hours, I still really like what they can do. The Indianapolis Colts, the number 4 seed, host in a 4-time back-to-back AFC representative, the Cleveland Browns and Mr. Denbrew. Man, this is going to be a great game. We've seen Cincy Bird kind of all over the place. He's a little bit like my team, but has these primary weapons like Michael Thomas and his running back. Why am I drawing a complete blank? Somebody help me out.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jeez, I almost said Naheem Hines, and I knew it wasn't Hines. And then you've got, on the other side of it, the Cleveland Browns. Went and drafted a bunch of rookie running backs, let his other guy go. It took him a bit to kind of find his rhythm, but man, he is rocking and rolling, and he's got that team red hot. But anytime you go on the road in the playoffs, it's going to be a really tough matchup. I'm going to pick the Cleveland Browns mainly because I got them in my AFC Championship game, and I don't want to waver from that, but this is going to be a great game. I will say, though, Cincinnati and Cincyburg is a lot like me. I said Cincinnati. I don't know why Cincyburg. It's in my head sometimes. But the Indianapolis Colts and Cincyburg are a lot like me, and that is one or two small things get against him, and you can see it. It just changes his emotions, his facial expressions. He gets focused. He stops reading chat. He gets angry. Stay the course, because you have to stay the course whenever you play Denbrew and his Browns. Give me the Browns in like a 28-24 type of game in this one. What do we think about the Colts versus Browns?
I am very intrigued into this game, as I was just talking about. Denver being a strong 5 seed, if not the strongest 5 seed. And then Cincy, I had as one of the top draft teams grade-wise from this last draft a year ago. And I think he had a rocky start, figured out the quarterback, picked up Derek Carr, and then lost Jonathan Taylor, like, I want to say week 12 or so, week 10, 12. And he had a few, like, tough games. Roger was let back in, and then it became down to a race down to the finish line to who was going to win the AFC South. The thing that I'm going to say is, since he usually plays up to his competition, when he plays the big dogs, D-Wayne, and he's played a few other guys, he plays solid football. And I feel like when he plays other people, he kind of just, like, doesn't buckle down as much. And I think that's where things kind of nip him in the butt a little bit about making a mistake here, and it kind of is crucial. This game, I feel like he's going to know what he's up against. He knows Denver. He knows what he's been capable of the last 4 years. I see Cincy buckling down. I see this game being another bar fight. And I got Jonathan Taylor, who has just recently signed, if I saw correctly, to a contract. So he's going to stay at Colt. I see Jonathan Taylor breaking out, having a big game. Michael Thomas doing his thing. And I see the Colts squeaking out a late win, 38-35. Both teams throw over 300 yards.
Somebody's got to go.
I guess I'll step in. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, just as of the last few hours, has signed a 7-year, $106 million contract.
Nice. Stakes on him.
That's a heck of a tag, and I think it's going to be worth it, because I think Jonathan Taylor will be the reason that since he moves on over Denbrew, and as much as it just feels weird for me to say, I just don't see Denbrew's run defense holding up enough to warrant forcing Cincy into a pass game. If Cincy's in a pass game, I feel like Denzel Ward can shut down Michael Thomas. And after you shut Michael Thomas down, I don't really see much of a pass option for Cincy. But if Cincy can keep Jonathan Taylor running and his backup going, I think that's going to force Denbrew to get a bit more aggressive, and that's when Michael Thomas is going to thrive. I see this being a 28-27 game.
I'm sorry about that. I was looking up some stats. I'm looking at right now in the league. The Colts have like one of the top 5 offenses in the league right now. He's I think top 3 in passing and top 5 in rushing. But then also looking at the offensive versus defensive stats, the Browns have one of the most dangerous defenses in the league right now. He has 57 sacks. So since he meets your Huckleberry, man, because this is going to be a matchup. 29 interceptions also by that defense. He's only lit up 1,355 yards rushing on defense. That is number 5 in the league. And then also in passing, he's also in the top 5. I just think that in the variables of Madden, when you have a prolific defense that can get after the quarterback, and we're not talking like the Colts have Mahomes back there or any of the top passers. They've got Derek Carr, who has bounced around from different teams, and there's a reason. I just feel like that this plays into the fact that the Browns D will cause havoc and will mess up that psyche of Cincy Bird with that constant pressure. And I just see the Browns really controlling this one from the start to the finish. And I look for the Browns to have a 34-17 victory over the Colts.
All right, there you have it. The AFC, the NFC. We've got it down from the wild card. About to move over to the divisional round. But first, the OMFL news. And when we come back, guys, give me your matchups. We'll start at the number 1 seed and kind of work our way to the other games. And 1 sentence as to who the winner will be. So we're going to keep this down to 1 sentence. Got to really hone in your thoughts there. Give me the matchup. Tell me who's going to win. And give me your 1 sentence as to why. But before we do that, let's come over here to our guy, Tony Bono, in the OMFL News.
Welcome to the OMFL News, and it's on Press Pass Live. So Nate and the gang are talking about playoffs, I'm sure. So let's talk about something different. Let's talk about offensive and defensive leaders from season 104, because it is wild card weekend in the OMFL. But here are your offensive and defensive leaders. Number 1 offense in the league was the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, that's right. That is not a typo. 8,083 yards on the season. Browns at your number 2, 7,762. Packers at number 3. Lions at number 4. And Bengals at number 5. Your defensive juggernauts from the season 104. Well, this one's no surprise. D-Money only gave up 4,097 yards. The Bears at number 2, 4,548 given up. Jets at number 3. Saints at number 4. And the Browns at number 5. Now, we'll go to red zone efficiency. Your offensive red zone most efficient team from season 104 was D-Money. 93 trips, 60 touchdowns, only settled for 11 field goals because he was scoring a bunch of touchdowns. 64% percentage. That is tops in the league for season 104. Now let's look at the best defensive team. And that would be the Indianapolis Colts. 75 red zone attempts, and this is the epitome of bend, don't break. They had 75 attempts against them. They only give up 19 touchdowns and 17 field goals. So if you got into the red zone against the Colts in the regular season, you only scored 25% of the time. The rest of the time, you either turned the ball over or you settled for a field goal. So that is it for this segment. We'll be back, so stay tuned.
All right, there you have it, Tony Bono. Thank you for that, Tony. Let's talk the AFC divisional round. Number 1 seeded Jets. I've got Bengals winning in their game, Kansas City Chiefs winning in their game, Browns winning in their game. So that's going to send the Cleveland Browns over to Kobe and the New York Jets, a rematch of season 102, 101, I don't know, one of those Super Bowls. And this is going to be a really fun one. Give me the New York Jets. I just think that I can't go Jets. That's right. I've got a pick I got to stick with. I'm going Browns only because I'm stubborn and I'm going to stick with my pick. Give me the Browns to win this one. Defense wins championships. I think they're going to shut down the run game of the New York Jets, and that's going to lead to some turnovers. Browns are going to escape with a victory to make it to their 4th or 5th straight AFC championship. What did we think about the Jets? Who are they facing? Who wins? And your one sentence as to why.
I've got Jets and Bills, and I have Jets just with the overpowered run game.
The awkward silence.
Maniac, where are you?
I was trying to write down some notes here. Let's see. We're doing the AFC side, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so you have your number 1 versus the lowest seed, number 6, which would be the Bills for me. Got to take the Jets here because the Jets just are hot, prolific. Bills defense is good, but not against this Jets.
Do we have Mr. Big Hurt with us?
No.
Oh, Mr. Big Hurt left.
he-
Okay.
yeah.
So that's going to be our winners for the number 1 seed New York Jets. The next game, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Cleveland Browns are out there hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. That's right. Talk about a good matchup. 2 versus 3. It's probably going to be like a snowy, wintry game, and that would be a fun AFC matchup to watch. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm stubborn. I'm sticking with my pick. Browns and Bengals in the AFC Championship. What I think it comes down to is the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to turn the ball over, and that's going to lead to some points by the Cincinnati Bengals because that offense is also rocking and rolling. I don't see a lot of points because I do see this one being a wintry game. Browns, Bengals, AFC Championship. I'm sticking with it.
I would have, at this point, the Bengals versus the Colts, and I just think, once again, run game is going to be dominant. Colts move on.
All right, my picks would be the Bengals versus the Browns. My heart tells me that Lil Koch can pull this one out and get a victory, but it's just something about experience, even in a Madden league, and I just have to give the nod to Denver here.
It's going to be a fun one no matter what happens. Let's move over to the NFC. The number 1 seed, San Francisco 49ers. Well, who do they face in my scenario? The only team that beat them in season 104, the Chicago Bears. Talk about rematch in the blood. Like, I can just see D-Money chomping at the bit, hoping that becomes a reality. I do think that the Bears are red hot, but give me the San Francisco 49ers. That defensive line is going to cause havoc. And we've seen Big Hurt. He gets frustrated when all that pressure comes at him. I think he's going to see more and more of that. San Francisco 49ers win this one. Who do y'all have in the NFC divisional round against the number 1 49ers?
I have Niners versus Giants, and given the sim schedule and how it's looking like we won't be holding off for a week to get the money back, which would put the Giants into the finals.
Yucky.
All right, so I have San Francisco versus the Bears in this particular one because the Bears would defeat New Orleans in the first round. It depends on, I mean, you're telling me now that D-Money possibly not being here, so that would put the Bears going if they're having to play the CPU. If it's D-Money versus Big Hurt, this is a big matchup. I mean, this could be one for the ages, but I'm gonna pick San Francisco if it's versus each other. If it's a CPU, you got to go the Bears. But
I'm brokenhearted here because you're right. I forgot that he's still gone, and Raj just kind of confirmed that.
He just left today.
Never in the history of the playoffs has it been a good thing to have the lower seed here and somehow win your first game. Congratulations to Big Hurt for sneaking into the playoffs, and now he's going to make it all the way to the NFC Championship game. My goodness. In my second round, NFC divisional round, I've got Dallas Cowboys versus the Detroit Lions. And talk about that first game, Dallas versus Washington. There's no love lost between those two. There sure in the hell ain't no love lost between these two. If this one gets played, if they don't kill each other first, this one's going to be a really good game. There's something about Prescott able to make plays on the offensive side. I'm going to stick with the red-hot Dallas Cowboys, but man, this is going to be a fun one to watch it come down. Give me the Dallas Cowboys. I guess I got to go against the Big Hurt. Even though I took San Francisco to win, now that I know that he's out, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys versus the Chicago Bears in the NFC Championship game. How do you guys see this one playing out?
I have it you, Nate, versus Wayne, and you've already told us that theory, so Wayne.
yeah, that's disappointing. But the Cowboys versus the Bears are for me for the championship game. I believe these two played against each other this season. I can't remember exactly who won that particular matchup, but this is the playoffs. Anything can happen. But I just see that Dwayne, even if it was D-Money, Dwayne's just got a chip on his shoulder right now, so he's got something to prove. Give me the Cowboys.
And that's going to bring us to our next Tony Bono session number 2. And when we come back, AFC NFC Championship game.
Welcome back to the OMFL News right here on the Press Pass Live. And Nate and the boys are getting it on over there. But let's talk about from season 104, your draft order leading into the draft for the OMFL. Right now, your current number 1 pick is the Falcons, 2 Steelers, number 3 the Jags, number 4 the Titans, number 5 the Vikings, number 6 the Rams, number 7 the Broncos, number 8 the Pats, number 9 the Eagles, number 10 the Seahawks, number 11 is your Raiders, number 12 the Bucks, number 13 the Cardinals, number 14 the Chargers, number 15 the Packers, Number 16, the Panthers. Number 17, the Texans. And number 18, the Ravens. That is your top 18 picks that will be picking in season 105 draft. And it's going to be interesting to see how these teams in the top 10 help mold and shape their teams going forward in this Madden 23 cycle. But I'm going to send you a team out here to watch. The Broncos, the Seahawks, and the Steelers, and the Rams. Those are teams to watch in this year's draft. I think they've been known to be really good, solid drafters. And let's see if they can make a difference for season 105. But that's your shakedown of the top 18 picks coming into this next draft. So, Nate, we'll send it back to you. And we'll be back for one more segment after this. Stay tuned.
The Green Bay Packers at number 15 in the draft order. Thanks, Tony Bono. I remember people picking him in last preseason to maybe represent the NFC in the championship game. And here he is at pick number 15. Things kind of went haywire for him a little bit. NFC championship game. I've got Big Hurt against D. Wayne and the Dallas Cowboys. D. Wayne is back at it. I hope that he finally is happy about it this time. My guy's been winning for quite some time, but he hasn't quite got where he thinks his team should be. Think he's going to earn it this time. Dallas Cowboys defensive line is going to be too much for that Chicago Bears offensive line. Give me Dallas to represent the NFC in OMFL Bowl number 104. What do you guys think?
I've got Giants Cowboys, and I agree. Wayne's on a whole different level now compared to when he played Colin in the regular season. And I think Wayne's the win.
What a run for Colin. I didn't mean to cut you off, but what a run if Colin makes it to the NFC Championship game, man.
Oh, that would be epic for Colin. But I don't see it happening. But Colin, fingers crossed for you. Maybe you can make some magic happen. But you better have some really good magic against Dwayne, because he's just on fire. The Cowboys, give me the Cowboys against the Bears in the NFC Championship. Again, Big Hurt, kind of gets the easy road there from San Francisco on up into the Cowboys. But I think that road, and I'm not saying anything against the Saints, because the Saints, Nate, you've had a good season. And I didn't get to talk about y'all's game, but the Bears, I played them just last night, and that defense was ferocious. It was he was in the backfield every play. So, but you got to give me the Cowboys here.
I think it's what separates the really good teams from the average teams, such as myself. I just, the pressure isn't there for me now. Finally getting one of my best pass rushers in Davenport back after 6 weeks or whatever it's been. So he's back for this game, but still, I got to figure out the pass rush game. Let's move over to the AFC. I've got Bears. Listen to me. What am I talking about over here? I've got Browns versus Bengals. I called this one last week. I feel stubborn. I got to stick with it. I just like the idea of two really close friends playing each other. Both guys switched teams in this past, Madden cycle. It's going to be Denbrew and his new Cleveland Browns versus his old team, but his best friend, Little Koch, and the Cincinnati Bengals. This will be a classic one. I like Denbrew to win this one. I just think the experience, he knows how to win these big games. It's probably going to be an ugly weather game. Man, that would be a really fun one to call. Give me the Cleveland Browns and Denbrew versus D. Wayne and the Dallas Cowboys in OMFL Bowl number 104. What do you guys see in the AFC?
I have it Jets versus Colts, and I think the Jets just overpowers them with the defense. It has a solid run game to overrun the Colts' immaculate run towards the OMFL Bowl.
Yeah, this is going to be an intriguing matchup for me with Denbrew. How my tree kind of fell here, playoff tree, with the Browns and the Jets. Kobe, right now he's just his team is just lit. His offensive firepower right now with his rushing attack. He's able to control the ball. I know the Browns have a really good defense. This game could really go either way. I feel like whoever kind of sets the tone to begin with is going to be the one that comes out victorious in this game. So I'm putting down the Jets to come out firing, kind of get Denbrew, the champion, off guard. It's going to be a close game in the end, but give me the Jets advancing onto the OMFL Bowl 104.
Well, there we have it. We know what our bowl matchups are going to be. When we come back, we'll make our predictions and maybe run through. I'm going to look at the mailbag on this next segment and see if we have any questions we can run through quickly. Last segment, Mr. Tony Bono, take us away, buddy.
And welcome back to the OMFL News right here on Press Pass Live. And we just want to take a moment to say good luck to Santa. I know he's getting ready for Christmas, and he had to leave the league for a while. We wish him nothing but the best, and hopefully he'll be back again someday. Okay, but Maniac is now taking over the Vikings, and he got curb stomped by the Bears last night. So, and then the Bears and the Saints are supposed to be playing tonight in the playoffs, so that's going to be an interesting one, because the Bears were all in the backfield all night long versus the young signal caller for the Vikings. So good luck to the Saints on that team. That defense is pretty stout. Okay, well, that's going to be it for today. So back to Nate and the boys as they talk about the playoff predictions. So we'll talk to you next time. See ya.
That music on that last one, that was superb. Thank you, Tony Bono. All right, AFC, NFC, we've got the representatives there. Let's talk about OMFL Bowl number 104. I've got the Cleveland Browns and Denbrew against the Dallas Cowboys and Dwayne. And I think Dwayne finally adds again to that OMFL trophy case that he has. I just think some switch was switched. He has kind of become really focused. That offense is playing exceptionally well, and we just know what he can do with that defense and that defensive line. One of the best, if not the best, player to shoot the gap with his linebackers and really shut down the run game of the opposing team. And I think if that happens to Denver, it's going to be forced to pass, going to lead to turnovers. I got the Dallas Cowboys winning OMFL Bowl number 104. What do you guys think about your OMFL Bowl predictions?
Yeah, I've got Wayne versus Kobe, and as much as I've been on this whole Kobe hype train, I just think Wayne's on a whole different level here. And I think he's at the point, prove a point. I think it's Wayne.
Yeah, that's my matchup as well. Got Wayne versus Kobe and the Jets. This is going to be a great matchup, but like Trey was saying, Dwayne's on a whole different level right now. He's just like so focused. I don't know if he stopped drinking Crown and Coke while he's playing games or what, but he is just like the last 5 weeks. He's just been steadily destroying his matchups. So give me the Cowboys to add to his trophy count there in the OMFL, and we'll see him on the pedestal.
Hard to debate. Very, very hard to debate. We'll see exactly how this one plays out. But that are our official predictions now that we have the official playoff layout, bracket, whatever word it is that I'm looking for. All right, I got a couple of quick questions. We'll run through these really quick, and then we'll wrap up the show with one closing thought. Shocks fan says, do you guys think the O-line blocking is inconsistent? If so, why do you think this is? Trey, I want you to go first, mainly because you and I had these conversations as I got what I perceived as a very angry DM one night after a rough game from your offensive line. Talk about the offensive line, man.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'll go up against the guys that have two power rushers in my offensive line. From there, you're up against two speed rushers, and I get 1 second to protect. It's something to do with speed rushers and EA just not having the capability to block a speed rusher. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to debate that because my one speed rusher who isn't even that fast has been out, and I've had no sacks in the last probably 6 or 7 games, whatever it's been, and so I know that some teams, the game specifically that you messaged me about, you had 11 or 12 sacks combined in that game, but I went literally through 4 or 5 weeks with very little pressure, very little sacks. And again, I played all backups versus Kansas City last night, got no pressure on him, and he just picked me apart and hung in a game that literally overall, compared to overall backups versus my starters, he shouldn't have been in, and yet he was because there was no pressure. Trey seems to, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he seems to be of the belief that it has everything to do with abilities. And since we don't have abilities on, it kind of has a bit of an imbalance there. I don't know that I don't know where I fall on that. It makes sense to me. Equally, I just, abilities are so broken, and I was a big supporter of them when they first happened, but they just got more and more broken and more gimmicky and more arcadey as we went. And I just hate I like the concept. I just hate the execution, especially now. What are we, 3-4 cycles deep into having abilities? Maniac, any conversation pieces with the offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, it's this Madden has been one of the more difficult Maddens. I mean, obviously, I've been out of the loop on a lot of league play for a while, but I've just dabbled a little bit into mud. I don't spend any money in it, but I play it, just the challenges and stuff like that, just to kind of build a team, my fantasy team there, creating an all Cowboys team or whatever. But there seems to be a little bit of truth, I think, to what Trey is saying, because I've noticed in MUT you can actually apply different things to your players or whatever, like to watch the edge rush or whatever, and even just playing a CPU challenge game. If you don't have that on a player, you seem to get a lot of pressure from even a CPU team. But if you then have those on your players, it tends to seem to curb that a little bit. Now, I know MUT is, I think they're on arcade or whatever, or competitive, whatever their setting is or whatever. But so I'm sure there's variables that plays into that. I do see from what little games that I have played for as league games in the franchise in Madden 23, that really users that use like a defensive tackle, that's kind of been like one of those tails that Madden has not done well in the last few Maddens and stuff. If they have a power guy on the inside, they'll control them and use a power move to overpower any kind of interior lineman that you have that could block them, or like the outside guys, they use it to use those quick edge movements and get around the edge really quickly and stuff. But that's Madden, that's the game that we have, and you have to just kind of I'm learning that you just have to roll with the punches sometimes and just come up with a different type of game plan to counter some of those, because in all reality, if someone's doing that or if they're relying on that, then it opens up other things that you can possibly that could open up your game plan that you could exploit on their defense. Not saying exploit as in a bad term, but just good coaching. And so, but that's kind of like my take right now on Madden 23's offensive line.
I watched Kansas City user a backup defensive end and beat the 97 overall Ramczyk time and time again, and that will always kind of be my argument, that there's something off there, something just the way the game is designed. And that was my feedback to Trey. Like, I hear the frustration, but you're pretty limited on what you can and can't do, because if I up pass rush or pass blocking, some of us will never get any sacks, and there is no perfect solution here at all. little Shocks also had a second question. This one you have to go into the memory bank a little bit, but he says, what is your biggest playoff upset that you can recall? And I think we can be a bit of prisoners to recent history here, but I would have to go back to the run that I went on. Me and Washington, that's the two I've kind of argued in my own head here, but I don't know that I will ever get that lucky again. I think it was a 7th seed. I beat D-Money, the real D-Money. He was actually here. He really played me. He may have let me win, but he still played me. And the real D-Wayne also may have let me win. I don't know, but I still won. And until one day they both retire and tell me that they let me win, I'm going to hang on to that one. But to be able to go through the two top dogs as they were here and make it all the way to OMFL Bowl number 101 against Denbrew, that's something I'm proud of. It's probably the last thing I'll be proud of here in the OMFL. But from what you can remember, what you can recall, and man, we go back years now. What is your biggest playoff upset victory?
Yeah, there'd either be that run or Kobe's run the following season.
Yeah.
7th seed, yes, he had the CPU D-Money, but he still had to go through D-Wayne, still had to go through Penguins, and still had to go through Denver. Those are 4 top teams. He got 1 CPU out of that. That's still a heck of a run.
Yeah, I really wish I would have known this question beforehand, because I would have really liked to have looked. I mean, this is a great question, Shocks fan. So I'm going to go look and dig in a little bit more deeper into the archives if I can find some other info for just myself, my own curiosity. But I have to go with my own personal experience. The season that I took over the Panthers the first time, I made it all the way to the OMFL Bowl. This is my only OMFL Bowl that I made it to. And Trey, I think you weren't you the owner of the Panthers, and then you switched and went to the Eagles?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think because you built a superb team, and so I kind of took over and just rode that skirt tail all the way into the playoffs, and I believe I beat Dwayne and several other top dogs. I think I even beat Kobe in that playoff as well. That's when he was just kind of getting really solidified and stuff. So that's kind of the one I can pull from my memory bank. And then just watching Nate go on his run, that was another exciting one that I can recall and witness.
We do have our history thread that I think tracks since like 2014, 15. So you might be able to find some really good ones in there. Denbrew with our last question of the day, and this one was pretty good. What is an old feature that you really enjoyed in a past Madden cycle, or something that you would like to see them bring into a future Madden cycle? I have been singing and preaching and yelling this from the mountaintops. I'm probably the only human on the planet that would like this feature, but in the PC days, we used to have the ability to download our rosters as an individual team and play in a IP to IP back in the day, but a user versus user game where they could use their team from the league and I could use my team for the league, but we could play just a side game that didn't count or didn't matter. And that was tremendously fun because you could make a trade or draft a player and go put a bunch of guys on your team, download that roster, and then go try them out and go play somebody in your kind of downtime waiting for the league to advance. And it just led to so many fun games and fun matchups. You could play people that you never got to play. Think of the Toilet Bowl nowadays, if you could play with your own real team. Think of the preseason games. Like we don't have time usually to play. We can't even play the preseason games anymore because of where we have to stop. But think of that ability to, over 24 hours, go play as many user games as you could with your team. It would be a ton of fun. So not necessarily a real feature, but it was an ability that we had. I'd love to see something like that moving forward, but I also know it's probably never going to happen. What's an old feature that you guys would like to see bring back?
Well, I'll go here. I was thinking through my memory banks of different things. There's a lot of things Madden used to have they don't have. I'm probably like one of the only ones. I'm kind of like in the same boat as you, Nate. I'm one of the only ones that actually liked the Vision Cone.
Oh, I can't believe you actually said those words.
To me, it was like it simulated more like actually scanning the field, and your passer would have a little bit of a difficulty with passing unless he was Peyton Manning. I think he had like the Vision Cone covered the whole field.
The worst executed idea I've ever seen. Terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't done real well, but the idea behind it, and I don't know, it was just intriguing to me, and I really did like enjoy it. And I think if they did it properly, it would be like a great feature. I'm just gonna add this in here. One feature I would like for them to add would be one where you could actually just replay games. Like I know they have it with the CPU. If you get kicked out, then you can just go right back in and play where you ended. I feel like if they could do that for a user versus user game, that would be extremely awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a neat feature. But that Vision Cone, I just don't think it works this day and age now with like the no look passing. Ugh, that brings back nightmares and first starting to play Madden. One thing that I wish it would bring back, and it would be, I don't know how they'd work in the online leagues, but that's training camp. I love.
Oh yeah,
they were fun.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, sure. Let me do. If I get gold, I can get a +1 throw power to my quarterback if it's for something like that, or running back gets +3 juking or something. Those are fun. I enjoyed them. I missed them.
Like, give me my focus players in those mini games. Like, so my focus players, that extra XP that they earn, let it be the mini games. I think that would be a fun way to approach it. But yeah, those training camps are always fun. All right, let's wrap up the show here. Let's go one final thought. Mine is just congratulations to all the owners who made it to the OMFL playoffs. Sign up for our guy Lost Snipers Toilet Bowl. He hosts that for us. Make sure you go sign up for that and get your names. I'm sure that we're going to have all of the awards posted here very, very soon. The off-season's super busy. I'm traveling this week, plus it's playoffs, and graphics, all the things I need to do, so it makes it even more busier. But be a little patient with us. Mainly speaking to you, Bird, and everybody else who gets impatient for how long the off seasons take. It's done for a reason. Just slow down for just a second. Breathe. Go play something else. I promise we'll be through it before you know it. Give me one final thought, Mr. Maniac.
Well, I'm just glad to be back. I hated to see Santa go. I've played him a couple of times in a couple of other leagues, and he's just a great guy. And he done a pretty good job at building this Vikings team. There is some things that are lacking for me personally for this team, but I get a chance to mold and make this team into a team that that I would build. And but it's just exciting to see that even though as bad Madden is and has been, that the OMFL is a great place to be. There's content. And it's all perspective. Like, you get to, if you have a perspective of like, that, this game stinks, it sucks, then you're just not going to enjoy it. And I've been there before, believe me. I've been negative Nancy so many times, so many years. And just a different outlook from me personally is you get what you put in. And, so my goal is to be
Did we lose him? Did I lose y'all?
We lost him for a quick second.
Okay.
He's back in. Just got on mute.
Did you hear what I said?
No, we lost you at the very end.
No, you just.
You were like mid-bite.
I just want to do what I can to be productive person in this community, and not only help myself, but others enjoy this game as much as possible.
Trey, close us out, buddy.
I can definitely say I'm looking for the two matchups with me and Maniac to shake off some, hopefully, rust. For me, it's for all the problems that we've had through this Madden cycle. Props to everybody for getting our heads back in the gears and getting through season 104. I know there was issues upon issues upon issues, but we, as a community, we showed that no matter how much EA can screw up, we can eventually right the wrong and have fun doing it.
I can't believe I'm about to say these words, even though I did my final thought. I actually forgot about all that. I don't know how. I think it's so traumatic, I just erased it from my memory. But when you said that, I was like, oh, he's right. We had to completely rebuild this whole thing and start all over. And you're 100% right. And I think we had so many really good classic games. Hopefully you guys submit those classic games and we continue to build that vault. One of these days, I'm going to go back and we're going to do a classic game rewatch stream. And we just watch one of these classic games. I think that would be a ton of fun. Trey, Mr. Maniac, thank you for being with me. Big Hurt, I know that you had to bounce because Discord was giving you a hard time. Guys in the chat, I appreciate you. Make sure that you hit the like button. We only got 3 likes. There's more than 3 of you in here. Hit the like button. Helps us out a ton. I'll see you tonight. We got Lions and Giants 7:30, I think he said, right? Eastern? No? 8:30.
8:30 for... We got 8:30 for Lions, we got 8:30 for Bills Chiefs. We got 10:30 p.m. Eastern for Bears Saints, if not earlier. And just while we were in the broadcast, Browns and Colts have been moved to 7:15 tonight.
There you go. Lots of really good games. Make sure you come tune in. I'm going to have it on. You should have it on as well. Go check out our charts. Those things have been a lot of fun to make. I've got a couple here.
Those are hilarious.
Go out a little later tonight. So I love you guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you on the other side. If you didn't make the playoffs, go sign up. Little Koch, he's got the toilet bowl. Go get in there, get playing, earn some XP, have some fun. We'll see you on the other side. See you tonight.
Smash that like and subscribe.